Welcome guys. Today we're going to talk about printing on polyester and polyester blends, tri-blends, 50/50s, etc. on here, and how we can choose or select the correct inks as we stack the inks to achieve different levels of bleed resistance. First, we're going to start off if we're doing simple 50/50s on there. You can use a standard ink like our Premium Advantage, a nice high opaque ink, but you're going to want to put a high opaque low bleed. We're going to be starting with Standard Cure. Okay, Standard Cure ink to begin with, 320 degrees. This is our Dreamy White or Tiger White, something along that line. You can print this as an underbase and flash this, and then print a standard high opaque ink on top, and make sure that you get full cure and have minimal risk of jobs coming back to you, particularly from bleed. The next step up, you're printing on tri-blends, some basic tri-blends or some basic 100% polyesters. You'll want to go to a polyester white. This right here is our Poly 150, our Super Poly White. It is also a 320, it's a standard cure. You can print this ink and flash it for maximum bleed resistance on all things on 100% polyester. 86 to 155 mesh is ideal. Print and flash, and then you could use standard inks on top because it is a 320 degree cure. The next step would be a barrier gray. A barrier gray, this right here is a Flex Cure ink. With Flex Cures, we can use them with standard inks as well. This ink, 86 to 155 mesh on here, and it has like a charcoal derivative in it. It actually absorbs gases. Do not be deceived. There was a post not too long ago on social media. Don't spend money buying a barrier gray. Just take white and put black ink in it. Duh. And luckily they caught a lot of flack for that because it is not the same thing. It is not black pigment that is giving it that gray color. This will give you maximum bleed resistance. You'll see, we're going to come back to this again when we're talking about Flex Cure inks, because it does give you maximum bleed resistance on here. You're doing 100% polyester tri-blend, something like this. When you're printing on shirts that are $40, $50, $70, $80, it's not a time to save money. This time of the year, we get heartbreaking calls at least 2 or 3 times a month. People losing $2,000, $5,000 because they decided to use an inexpensive ink on an expensive garment. Cheap ink, expensive garment, the risk reward ratio, in my opinion, is not there. You want to use a premium ink when you are risking printing on premium garments. You screw up on 100 50/50 blends and they're $2 a piece, you just lost $200. 100 of these at $70, you're just out $7 grand on there. Be careful. So going into printing on tri-blends, 100% polyester, high end, you got Flex Cure. This is our tourniquet, smooth white. Now this is a good white. On here, you can also use this on 50/50s. You'll print this and flash this, and then you layer it with tourniquet colors. So now we have got our tourniquet white, and then we're putting a low cure, high opaque, low bleed, light royal on top. We're layering our bleed resistance. But once again, with the more expensive the garment, you may want to up the ante and go from the smooth to a higher end, which would be like the Poly Ice. Poly Ice, high opaque, low bleed white. You could use this with the tourniquets as well, print, flash, and print those. But for maximum bleed resistance, you can go with Poly Ice colors on top. Once again, by doing that, we are layering and stacking the different layers. Now, what's the difference between a flex cure and a low cure? Flex cure, we can cure this at 270 degrees. We can cure it at 320 degrees. It says LCLB because it does still have bleed resistance. So if you go over the 300-degree mark, you're still okay. It's still going to have bleed resistance. If you use ink that just says LC, no LB, you have to make certain you stay under that 300-degree mark. If not, it will bleed. That's why people call and they're like, why is LC/LB ink twice as much money as an LC ink? Flex Cure inks are more expensive because they have bleed resistance. Not only are they super opaque, not only they're flexible cure, but they've got bleed resistance. They're going to be the creme de la creme. And this shirt right here, we printed using the Poly Ice white. Great results on expensive garments. High-end garment wear, better off, in my opinion, to use a premium ink. But as you see, we can stack and layer the inks to vary our cost depending on the cost of our garment and how much risk that we are willing to take. Any questions, feel free to leave them in the comments below and we'll be glad to answer them. Or you can give us a call at 800-935-2121. As always, we appreciate you watching. If you enjoyed the video, please give us a like or a share, and happy holidays.